Hi, and welcome to your January Mini Maker box. I'm super excited and I hope you are too. Let's see what's inside. So you're gonna open it up and just remove that tissue paper. It's like a present. All right, so you have your supply kit. Make sure you put that off to the side. You have all of your paints you'll need. We have all of these wonderful cards. I wonder what those do. Your little glue, make sure you save that. Some fun ceramics. And then this amazing cutout. Now I have another one here, so we're gonna use that one. But I hope that you have so much fun. I can't wait to show you what this turns out to be. This is your dry time surprise. I grew up in Wisconsin and now live in Florida, so I don't get to see snow. This stuff is so cool. If you take just a little tiny bit in a cup and you mix it with water, it's gonna make snow that's actually cold, and you can play with it in the house under your parents' supervision, of course. So hope you like your dry time surprise. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the first thing you're gonna do is find all these pieces, and we're gonna kind of put the box together without gluing it, so that way we can see what colors we wanna do everything. So it all lines up, so we're gonna start with the face, and then you have the nose that goes on top, your body, the feet, and then you have the little spacer parts of the hands. So those won't really matter what color they are. The tuft, his tail, and sometimes you have to rotate things to see how they fit. So you might need help, because it can be kind of a complex puzzle at first. All right, and then we have these little guys are actually his hands. So we're gonna put those on top of these at the end. Okay. Then I have his eyes. And his mouth. And then all of these guys, I don't know what I was thinking. These are not his hands. See, this is why you do it ahead of time. Goodness gracious. These are his hands, the ones with the little bumps. There we go. And then all these are his little toe parts. And then these are his ears, okay? So once you kind of see how everything fits together, that's gonna majorly help you know how to paint everything. All right, so you can take things off one at a time, or you can kind of make a mental note. For me, I know I'm gonna paint his eyes black. So I like to get some painter's tape. Let me grab that quick. So you can paint things one at a time, or you can do them all at once. It's completely up to you. But I like to do this painter's tape because it helps me not have to chase my pieces around. So I'm gonna paint his eyes black. I'm gonna paint his mouth black. Paint his nose black. Let's see. I think that's all I'm gonna paint black. Oh, and his eyebrows. Now, my little guy is missing his eyebrows, so we'll fix that later. So you're just gonna dip, scrape, always unload your paint on a paper towel or off to the side so you don't get too much paint on your shapes. You don't want it sloppy, because then you have to watch it dry for too long. So just dab, 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 dab. And fill it all in. Okay, and then let's see here. I'm gonna put his ears white and all of the pads of his feet. So I'm gonna put those over here for myself. And I'll get my white paint. Dip, scrape, unload, and then hop on your white. So the painter's tape helps all your pieces stay down. You could use masking tape or washi tape, a bunch of different things would work. Anything sticky, really. You don't have to do it, but it makes it a lot easier not to have to hold it with your other hand. So your white might take a couple coats because white doesn't have stuff in it called primer that makes the paint sticky. And so it just takes a little bit longer to build. All right, that's looking a whole lot better. All right, I'm tell you what, I'm also gonna paint the top of his tail white. So I forgot that part. I'm gonna put that on my painter's tape and give him cozy top of his tail. And then his whole little beard area here, I'm also gonna do white. This one I can hold down because it's a little bit bigger piece, so you don't necessarily have to do the painter's tape trick when it's a nice big piece like this. And you could be creative. We included standard colors for a fox, but maybe your fox is different colors. I don't know. There is no wrong in art. That's what makes it so fun. Okay. Looking at all my pieces, I think I'm also gonna make sure his little chest area is also white. So I like to do things kind of by color because that way my hands aren't getting messy in between and I can do all the color at once. But you might like a different version. This helps me stay organized. All right, so I'm gonna paint the bottoms of his feet and I'm gonna paint the bottoms of his feet brown as well. So let's do some brown on the bottoms of his feet. Because that's the pad of his foot, that's what he would be walking on, right? So always remember we're using just a little bit of paint. We always want to unload and never dunk our sponge into our paint. Always kind of unload and dip and scrape, and that way it stays nice and neat. All right, everything else on my fox, I think I'm gonna go with orange. I'm gonna take him all off the base here. You can choose if you're gonna paint your whole base. You could paint it all orange. Maybe you wanna paint both sides orange. Just so you guys don't have to watch me paint forever, I think I'm going to just leave it one color. Okay, so I'm gonna do the rest of the stuff orange. Now I'm getting a lot of paint open here, and that's a recipe for disaster. So I'm gonna close up my lids so I don't make a oops and spill any paint. So if you can stay a little organized in your workspace, that usually can help you a lot, okay? I'm gonna take my last yellow sponge, and for the bigger areas, you can also use the yellow sponge, or you could use the white sponge. I'm gonna show you with the yellow. I'm gonna dip. I'm still gonna unload a little bit, but I can get these nice big strokes and it can make it go a little bit faster. So this is, especially if you wanna paint the back of it, I would use the yellow sponge just because it goes nice and fast and it goes on nice and even too. But I'm kind of really pushing that paint into my wood. I can't wait for you guys to see how this is gonna turn out. You probably have already seen the picture. I bet. So I chose a fox because in the back in my backyard, we actually have a family of foxes that come out a lot. And my dog is an American foxhound. And you would think he would try and hunt the fox, but they just sit and stare at each other all the time. So they're kind of like the fox and the hound. I like it. So that's why we chose a fox. And I think a lot of people like the fox. And have you ever heard the song, What Does the Fox Say? Parents, I know you just got mad at me because that is a crazy song, but it's a lot of fun. And because this is an interchangeable shape design, we wanted to know what the fox says, and he's gonna wish you all the holidays throughout the year. All right, so now we have all of our pieces. I'm doing one more light little coat on my white here, because remember, we said white's gonna take the most. All right, and then you have this glue in yours. You can use the brushes, the little brush to apply. I'm gonna use super glue just because it's really quick, and that way you guys don't have to watch forever. So when you glue, just put your glue in the middle, so don't put it all the way around the edges, because otherwise it'll push out of the sides and look kind of sloppy. So this is super important. You do want to make sure you're lining it up, because we still need that bottom tab to be exposed so it goes in our stand. And this box is kind of heavy. It might not stand completely in your stand, so you might have to lean him against a wall a little bit, but that'll give him a little bit of a base. Okay, so glue again. Oh, before you do that body piece, make sure you're doing his beard. I got talking and I forgot. So we're gonna add his beard, because that's how we're gonna layer him up, okay? So I'm gonna put his beard exactly up against his face, nice and tight. Make sure everything's lining up with the outside, okay? Then I'm gonna put his body part and make sure I really line it with his chin jaw, okay? What that does is it leaves that little bit under here. So we're gonna want that. Now I stuck my finger in that, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of orange to cover up that, and that's okay. You're gonna make little mistakes in art. You just cover them up. Okay, now we can put on his beard. Kind of like a puzzle, it just fits in there. And then let's do his tail. Okay. I'll move him here so you see what I'm doing. Now we're gonna put the tip of his tail. And then his eyes. So when you start getting to these smaller pieces, put a little bit of glue and you can actually kind of dab it off. And so that way it doesn't come off the sides either. So line it up with the score marks. You'll see the little lines to show you exactly where those eyes go. Okay. And then, I don't know why mine is missing pieces. But you'll have little, you can also paint the inside of your eyes white if you would rather, or you might have little dots that you can put them in there. Okay. My guy's missing them. And then we're gonna line up his ears. Oh, he's starting to look pretty cute. Again, if you get too much glue, just dab it off. I painted the wrong side of that. Oopsies. What happens if I do that? Just flip it over and paint the right side. No problem. So if the shape doesn't line up, just flip it over and then paint the right side of that. Because it probably means you did the back side. So no problem. Now we'll put glue on this side. Sometimes when you're on camera, you get nervous. Do you ever get nervous? There we go. Okay, let's do his feet. So this is the part you probably want mom or dad to help you with, because they can help you with all the glue and lining it up. All right, so now I'm gonna put all his little feet parts in here, and you might have to play with which shape fits where. So it should be a little bit of a snug fit for those toe pieces. I think I got this one wrong. There we go. Tall skinny one goes in the middle. Another tall skinny one. And then you have the short one. And that's gonna give them his little pads. So I like this project because it's kind of a puzzle. Lets you see how shapes fit together. And if you like how shapes fit together, check out tangrams. They're one of my favorite puzzles too. My kids like to do them a lot. All right, so we have his little nose here that we still need, and his smile. And remember, you have eyebrows. I don't know where my eyebrows went. I must have got lost between the time I cut it and the time that I'm filming this. That's okay. I'll fill him in a little bit here. Now, you have these spacer pieces. That's where you see the score marks. And they're gonna line up right there. So we wanna put the spacer pieces down first. Make sure you got those nice and lined up. And then the hands are gonna go on top of the spacer pieces. Kind of like he's holding hands like this. All right, and the last thing, you can decide what color you're gonna do your base. I'm gonna paint mine black. So you can swipe or dab or use a yellow or a white sponge, because this is a nice big section. So whatever you like better. And then, oh, I forgot to put his smile in. There we go. And then he's gonna fit into his base, and he stands up. And then all of these cards you can open up and slide right into his hands. So you have Happy Valentine's Day, Hello Winter, Happy Thanksgiving, Hello Fall, Happy Easter, Hello Spring, Happy Halloween, Merry Christmas, Happy St. Patty's Day, Happy Summer, a just generic hello, of course, happy birthday, and then 2 blank ones that you could write with a dry erase marker and put whatever you want to do. So we hope you love this project, and I hope you keep it in your room and you can use it as a little bit of holiday decor throughout the whole year. Since it's January, you'll be able to use everything. Don't forget to share your pictures of your fox and how you painted them, and thanks for being a part of our Mini Maker Club.